The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, it's been a little bit of time, and what is it today? Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. I haven't really been on YouTube the last couple of days, so shout out to everybody out there who's gonna watch this live, who's watching it on the playback. Make sure you smash that like button. Um, Before I get into the topic of this live, let me just say that later on today, we will be having I'll be having a live later on tonight again after the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury press conference. The Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder press conference will be in a couple hours. So make sure you guys look out for that because I will be reacting to that once it does happen. But listen, this live right here, this has been a live that I've been anticipating for a long time. And the day has finally come. It's a day as boxing fans we've been waiting on for a long time. We knew for many years that this day might come, but now we don't have to wait much longer. It's finally happened. It's finally happened. Manny Pacquiao has decided to hang up his gloves and put the cherry on top of what's been an absolutely remarkable career, an absolutely amazing career, a career that has spanned 3 decades. And seen him do many unprecedented things in the boxing ring. So on this particular stream, I don't know like how long this is gonna last. I don't know how I'm gonna wind up feeling as this live goes on. But I just wanted to take this time to really just give Manny Pacquiao his flowers and really appreciate him for his boxing career, because when we talk about the true legends of the sport, when we talk about the guys that really left their imprint, put their dent in this sport, when we talk about the fighters that really, personally for me, made me a boxing fan as a kid, this guy is right at the top of the list. Manny Pacquiao, a true legend of the sport. So I don't even know where to start. I guess for me, I guess I'll just start by sharing some of my favorite memories of Pacquiao as a kid. And then I'll talk about some legendary fights in his career, and then maybe even some memories that I have of him from covering the sport. And then I'll read comments as well. By the way, shout out to my man Jesus. Jesus says, "What's up, BT? It is way better that way. Spence versus Manny is a better retirement fight than Manny versus Ugas." Personally, look, I don't really care about the retirement fight. I'm just glad it's out the game, because if he were to go a fight more or 2 fights more or progress his career any longer, it could have got really bad for him. So I think he's getting out at just the right time. He's got a lot to give to the world as far as in the Philippines and hopefully even boxing. I think even boxing in the future, maybe he might have a role in boxing. I know he still has many Pacquiao promotions. I'm not really sure how involved he is with that, but he does have fighters signs him like Jerwin Cajas, John Rio Casimiro, things like that. So we'll see how it all progresses. Shout out to my guy, Nordic Warrior. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Nordic Warrior. He says, "God bless Manny Pacquiao. I hope he becomes the president anyway." Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao is an example that no matter how bad things are, you can come from the dirt. You can come from poverty. You can come from nothing. But if you have it within your heart, spirit, and might to do some legendary things in your life, you can get those things accomplished with God on your side. With one of my favorite Bible verses, and I'm not going to start preaching, but one of my favorite Bible verses is Proverbs 16:3, which says that if you commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. And I think Manny Pacquiao is a great example of that. So God bless Manny Pacquiao, and congrats to him on a remarkable career. Robert Sanchez, Manny Pacquiao, one of the best fighters of all time, no doubt about it. So look, I'm gonna start by talking about one of my favorite Manny Pacquiao fights. And I gotta throw it all the way back. I think it was like 2009. I'm gonna say it was like 2009. I remember at the time it's 2009, so I was like 14 years old. I was 14 years old in 2009, and I wasn't even living in South Florida. I was living up north, back up in New Hampshire with some family. Most of my family lives in the Northeast, like Massachusetts area, Connecticut, New Hampshire, New York. I got a lot of family in the Northeast, but particularly like in the New England region. So, at the time I was 14 years old living in New Hampshire, and I remember at that time, as many of you who've been watching boxing for a long time, you'll remember as well. You know, Miguel Cotto was one of the top names in boxing at that time, and I remember a lot of my family. You know, half of my family's Puerto Rican, so my Puerto Rican side of the family, that's who I was, you know, around at that time. So whenever Miguel Cotto fought around that time, whether it was against Joshua Clottey or Manny Pacquiao, there used to be like this there was like this warehouse of sorts that my family used to congregate at, and you know, not just for fights, but like for get-togethers, you know, play dominoes, talk shit, you know, that kind of stuff. So I remember clearly when the Manny Pacquiao fight got announced. I used to spend a lot of time with my dad and my uncle Patrick up north, and they were arguing for like a month. I remember they were arguing for like a month before the fight happened on who would win, Pacquiao or Cotto. And that was like one of the highlights of my day around that time, you know, who would win between Manny Pacquiao and Cotto. So when the fight night finally came and my family congregated at this warehouse of sorts, and we watched the fight, obviously most of my family was going for Miguel Cotto. Now, I like Miguel Cotto, but I'll be honest with you, I like Manny Pacquiao more. So naturally, I rooted for Pacquiao. You know, I like the speed. I love the combinations. I love the angles, and it made it fun because, like you know, when you're a kid, and everybody's like kind of rooting for one person, you know, you for the other person, and when the other person wins, it makes you feel kind of it feels good. So when Manny Pacquiao beat the brakes off Miguel Cotto, it was fun to talk shit to my family, and it was just one of those like memories that I have of boxing that really made me a boxing fan. Seeing the way Manny Pacquiao beat a great fighter like Miguel Cotto in such dominant fashion, you know, it was truly something to see at the time. So just that, you know, my favorite fight of Manny Pacquiao all time was the Antonio Margarito fight. You know, Antonio Margarito was like this damn big. He was this damn big, and Manny Pacquiao's like this damn big. And to see Manny Pacquiao beat up a guy as tall as he was, you know, it was something special to watch, you know, and just the run that he had from like the mid 2000s to like the early 2000s when he was beating like De La Hoya and Cotto and all these guys and Margarito, and just the list goes on and on. You know, the run that he was having at that point in his career from like the middle of 2000 all the way to the early 2000s was probably one of the best runs I've ever seen in boxing history. You know, and I never had a chance to meet Manny Pacquiao. I never had a chance to actually like interview him or anything like that, or even see him fight in person. But you know, believe you me, Manny Pacquiao left his imprint on me as a fight fan. You know, as a fight fan. So those are just some of the fights that come to mind. The Cotto fight and the Margarito fight. Those are probably my top 5 Manny Pacquiao fights. So yeah, man. God bless him. God bless him. Let me see. We got hold on. We got a shout out to my guy Brendan Smith. He says Manny Pacquiao was the truth. Yes, he was, champ. Nordic Warriors. I recently watched the Manny Pacquiao documentary that was narrated by Liam Neeson. It is great stuff. I've been hearing a lot of great things about it. I gotta check it out, champ. Robert Sanchez says Pacquiao versus Marquez 1 was a great fight. It was. You know, another great Manny Pacquiao memory that I have. I'll tell you guys another great Pacquiao memory that I have was this is actually more of like a personal memory because I remember was 2016. So it was 2016. I remember at this particular time, or it might have been 2017. I don't remember if it was 2017 or 2016, but oh no, it was 2016. So late 2016, you know, I'm really starting to get my foot in the door and cover boxing here on YouTube, and I'm starting to do well and, you know, progress. And I remember very clearly, I was in LA. I went to LA for the first time ever. It was like what was it? September of 2016. I was there. I was in Los Angeles to cover the Cholatito versus Carlos Cuadras fight at the Forum. And while I was there that same week, Manny Pacquiao had his press conference against Jesse Vargas. You know, if you guys remember, he fought Jesse Vargas after Jesse Vargas had won the WBO title, and Jesse Vargas had his little good run at welterweight, a short run, but a decent run. the press conference was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and I just remember so clearly when it comes to Pacquiao. Before the like 2 days before that press conference, they had the Manny Pacquiao grand arrival at LAX airport, and this is a normal occurrence. Whenever Pacquiao would fight, and he would have his press conferences in LA. Whenever he arrives at LAX airport, you know, the media is always there to swarm him and just get a glimpse of him, get some comments from him, things like that. So this is my first time, my only time experiencing this, and I actually had the video on my channel. I remember before this guy got off the plane, before this guy got through customs, before this guy got out the door, I mean, everybody was there. I mean, all the media was there. All the YouTube channels you guys can think of were there. You know, like Marcos Vegas was there from Fight Hub, Michelle Phelps, like every big YouTube channel was there. Then all the local LA media was there, from the newspapers to the news stations, Filipino news. I mean, I at this point in time, I had never seen anything like this. I had never seen anything like this. I had never been around big time boxing like this. And I remember when this guy got off, when this guy cleared customs, when he got out the damn elevator, when he got out the damn escalators and he walked through the doors, I kid you not, to even just get a glimpse of Pacquiao at that moment was like the hardest thing, because, you know, you got like 40 or 50 media people in a really tight, congested area, just jockeying for position, elbowing each other. And this is actually one of those very rare times, like, being as short as I am, played a role, because was to my benefit, because, you know, you could kind of just weave in and weave out. So I was able to get a glimpse of Manny Pacquiao before he got into his car and before he answered a few questions, and it was pretty cool. But Manny Pacquiao, one of the true icons of boxing. And then I remember when later on in that week, when they had the press conference at the Beverly Hills Hotel, which was a different experience altogether in its own. You know, there were like at least 150 to 200 media members there. And when you get a chance to really see these things in person, you get an idea of, like, you know, Manny Pacquiao's a big star, but when you're around these things, you realize just how much of an icon he is, just how much of an impact he has. Because I to this day, whether, you know, before or after that moment, I've never been around anything in my life covering boxing with so much media, with so much attention. And mind you, the Jesse Vargas fight wasn't even a big fight. Like, it was big because Manny Pacquiao was fighting, but if you compare it to all the other Manny Pacquiao fights and all the other Manny Pacquiao events, it's minuscule, it's small, it's small potatoes. So yeah, man, that's probably another one of the good memories that I have of you know, Manny Pacquiao is being at the LAX airport in 2016 for the Manny Pacquiao grand arrival, which was something special, you know. Shout out to everybody here, man. Shout out to everybody here. Do you have any Manny shirts? I have two. Yeah, I do actually. Hold on. I actually have one of my Manny Pacquiao shirts on my couch right now, because I was gonna put it on and use it for my next video. Look, I'll show you. I used to have like two Manny Pacquiao shirts, but this the Manny Pacquiao shirt I got right here. You know, you see him, you see the champ, you see him, Manny Pacquiao. You know, the untouchable Manny Pacquiao, one of the best pound for pound fighters to ever grace the sport. You know, there's gonna be many boxers that come after him, and there are many boxers before him. But I you can bet your ass there won't ever be another Manny Pacquiao. There won't. Shout out to Mark Fernandez. Mark Fernandez says his second rise after he was knocked out from Marquez was even great. His career symbolized his life with up and down moments. And yeah, that, like, there's so many ways to look at his career. That's one of the ways you could look at Manny Pacquiao's career. Like, Manny Pacquiao in his boxing career, he's done things that most fighters cannot do. You know, this is a guy that's been knocked out before. He's been outboxed. He's been beaten every which way. And time again in his career, he's shown that he can bounce back from that, and he's shown that he can become champion and still be one of the elite fighters in the sport. And not a lot of fighters can do that. Not a lot of fighters can get knocked out cold like Manny Pacquiao did. Not a lot of fighters can get outboxed like Manny Pacquiao did against Eric Morales. Not a lot of fighters like Manny Pacquiao can some of the setbacks that Manny Pacquiao has had in his boxing career and still prove themselves to be one of the premier fighters in the sport, and even evolve, because I think people don't even give Manny Pacquiao the credit he deserves for evolving, because after Manny Pacquiao got knocked out against Marquez, he actually mastered the art of efficiency. He became a more efficient fighter. After he got knocked out against Marquez, gone were the days of Manny Pacquiao throwing 1,000 punches. Gone were the days of Manny Pacquiao throwing 1,200 punches. And then he learned how to throw 700 punches, 600 punches, 500 punches a fight, and make it just as effective as the 1,000 punches he used to throw. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I don't think he gets credit for. His footwork improved after the Marquez knockout. The Marquez knockout made him better in some ways. Obviously, he wasn't as explosive. Age slowly but surely caught up to him, but he still did some great things. And in 2019, as I was live here on YouTube in 2019, Manny Pacquiao was one of his last great performances. We got to witness it together here on True School Sports when he fought Keith one-time Thurman, an undefeated, young, strong, prime welterweight. And he turned out the clock that night just one last time for us, and he gave us one more great performance to become the oldest welterweight champion in boxing history. The first fighter, I think it's the first fighter to be a world champion in 3 different decades. I think he's the only one to do that. I could be wrong though. And shout out to Mandaloso S. He says, any fight with Manny Pacquiao, Marquez are great. The end of an era. There are no old school fighters. Well, I can't say that. We still have great fighters like I think Chocolatito Gonzalez is still one of the last old school fighters. I think Usyk is an old school fighter. I think Sean Porter's an old school fighter. But none of these guys had the legacy or resume or the accomplishments of Manny Pacquiao. So it is what it is, man. And yes, shout out to my main man, 50 grand, Johnny boy, Johnny's Combat Talking News. He says people have to realize that if Manny never moved up to welterweight, he's still an all-time great and a Hall of Famer with wins over Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. You damn right. And listen, man, Manny Pacquiao, sometimes I joke around sometimes because I say like Chocolatito was the Mexicutioner, but the original OG, triple OG Mexicutioner was Pacquiao. He fought the murderer's row of prime top Mexican fighters. Back when Mexican fighters actually behaved and acted like Mexican fighters. There's still some good Mexican fighters now. There's many talented Mexican fighters now, but there's not many Mexican fighters that have the same spirit of the Mexican fighters that Pacquiao was fighting, like Eric Morales, like Marco Antonio Barrera. These guys, I mean, oh my God, these guys were something to behold. And Manny Pacquiao, he didn't just fight them once; he fought them twice, 3 times. He had trilogies. I mean, fucking Manny Pacquiao was damn near like Rocky. And yes, Manaloso, you're right. Floyd Mayweather was the Mexicutioner as well. There were a lot of Mexicutioners back in the day. Floyd, Pacquiao, Chocolatito. There were many fighters that you could consider the Mexicutioner, But Manny Pacquiao was definitely one of them. And look, people forget that. People tend to forget that Manny Pacquiao didn't have to go to welterweight. He didn't have to go to 130. He didn't have to do any of these things, and he would have still been a first ballot Hall of Famer. We got a lot of fighters these days that they might fight 1 pound for pound caliber fighter, and people want to pat them on the back and say, "Oh, this guy is great." But Manny Pacquiao, this guy was fighting a pound for pound caliber fighter every single year. There was one point in time where Manny Pacquiao was willing to fight Paul Williams. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I believe Manny Pacquiao had a fight signed with Paul Williams before Paul Williams got knocked out. He was willing to fight Paul Williams. Even down to the very last day of his career, he was willing to fight Errol Spence until Errol Spence got the injury. So Manny Pacquiao is an example to these fighters of how they should act. Always challenging themselves, always willing to take on the best. Not being afraid to lose, because in this day and age, the day and age we live in, the day and age of in the pussification of boxing, we have so many fighters that are afraid to test themselves, that are afraid to know how truly great they are, that have the media and the fan bases and certain things massaging their ears, telling them they're great. But Manny Pacquiao wasn't the kind of fighter to rest in his laurels. Manny Pacquiao wasn't the kind of fighter to say, "Oh well, hey, I already did all this stuff. So now I'm just gonna sit back and not do anything. No, no. Manny Pacquiao tested himself time and time again, and even like he fought Yordenis Ugas on short notice. How many guys do you know in boxing would fight Yordenis Ugas on short notice? I don't know too many. Manny Pacquiao, even though he lost and he did make some excuses, and I got on him on his case for making the excuses and whatnot. But how many guys? Let's answer that question. How many fighters do we know in boxing right now in the welterweight division that would take a Yordenis Ugas fight on short notice like Manny Pacquiao? Because I believe it was like 2 weeks, something like that. Maybe just over 2 weeks. How many fighters in boxing right now in the welterweight division would take a Yordenis Ugas fight on 2 weeks or less of short notice? I can't think of too many. I can't. So, I'm gonna miss him, man. I'm gonna miss him because the reality is this. A lot of these fighters in boxing today, they might be skilled. They might do some great things in the ring, but straight up, as far as their attitude and mentality and their mental makeup, a lot of these fighters these days are punks. They're punks. A lot of them are punks. And Manny Pacquiao is really, once the guys like Chocolatito and Gael Estrada retire from the sport, Usyk, when these guys retire from the sport, there's gonna be no more old school fighters left. Because these are the only guys, there's only a handful of guys left like Manny Pacquiao. It really is. That had that same sort of mentality and makeup that are cut from that cloth. Chocolatito, Usyk, it's just few and far in between. Sean Porter is few and far in between. So make of that what you will. Shout out to my guy Val. Val says boxers that will have similarity to Manny's humble character and career accomplishments will take another century and many more. It's sad to see him go, but the legend deserves to enjoy his life. Yeah, man. Look, the reality is, no matter how good a fighter is, no matter how much they accomplish, there's always life after boxing. And a lot of times in boxing, the sport retires the fighters, and not the fighters that retire from the sport. So look, Manny Pacquiao has a lot to give the world in terms of I'm not going to get into the politics because I don't know the politics of the Philippines, but I wish him the best in his endeavors over there. I think Manny Pacquiao also still has a lot to give to the sport of boxing as far as like maybe advising fighters and things like that. I know he has his promotional company, so we'll see how it goes. You truthfully never know what the future holds. But either way, I wish Manny Pacquiao the best, and one of my dreams in life still to this day is I hope to cross paths with Manny Pacquiao and maybe even get to talk to him because he's been a big inspiration in my life. He truthfully has in boxing, and I want to see. I would love to get to talk to him for 2 minutes if at all possible. But if not, it's all good. It's all good. He's given me enough to be happy and satisfied with in that boxing ring. You can count them on one hand and still have fingers left. I mean, yeah, you got, I would say, like people that had a mentality of Manny Pacquiao left in boxing are like Usyk, Chocolatito, Gael Estrada, Josh Taylor. That might be it. Usyk, Chocolatito, Gael Estrada, Josh Taylor. And that's really it. Everybody else in boxing, they don't really have that mentality. They're not really taking these risks. Maybe an Inoue. I would say Tio, but people are not people aren't going to agree on that. Not everybody's going to agree on that one. I think Tio will fight anybody. He's shown that already. But Tio, there's not a lot. There's not a lot, man. There's not a lot. Lomachenko's another one. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Lomachenko like that, but great fighter who's tested himself time and time again. Uzam, fanboy killer. He said Tyson Fury. I would say Tyson Fury, but I know a lot of people would disagree with that as well. Brian Castano. Yeah, there's not many fighters that had that mentality that Manny Pacquiao had. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Who are some American fighters that had that mentality? I mean, I said Sean Porter. And look, Sean Porter is an interesting one because Sean Porter was actually a Manny Pacquiao sparring partner. He was sparring. Sean Porter was sparring Manny Pacquiao when he was like 6-0, 6-0, 8-0, 9-0. Sean Porter was sparring the prime Pacquiao, and like if you were to actually go through Sean Porter's whole boxing career, I'm talking about like his amateur career to like who he sparred and then to who he fought in the ring. It's insane. It's damn near unmatched when you talk about the modern welterweights because Sean Porter sparred in the amateurs. He fought Daniel Jacobs. He fought Usyk. He sparred Prime Pacquiao. I think he sparred Josh Taylor. He sparred Caleb Plant. He sparred a lot of guys. Then, like, when you go to who he fought, he's the only welterweight that fought the whole, like, modern day welterweight. He's gonna fight Crawford. He's fought Spence. He's fought Kell Brook when Kell Brook was Kell Brook. He fought Danny Garcia. You know, he's put it on the line. So, you know, you gotta respect Sean Porter. Shout out to Val. Val makes a great point. Val makes an amazing point. He says pre-marriage Keith Thurman. I agree. Keith Thurman before he was married. Ooh, yo, they wasn't fucking with Keith Thurman before. Keith Thurman before he started fucking with that girl from Nepal. Man, pre-marriage Keith Thurman. You know, the don't duck me, son. You better not duck me. You better not duck me, son. That guy was something to watch. But, you know, sometimes in life, you know, you get some money, you get some accomplishments, and you become a little bit civilized. So it happens to the best of us. It could happen to anybody, and it's happened to him. Hopefully, he lives a blessed life, continues to live a blessed life. But at least he got to share the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He was one of the last people to share the ring with Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's your boy BT, the Untouchable, True School Sports Empire. I wanted to take this time to thank Manny Pacquiao for giving us a remarkable boxing career. You know, his boxing career was nothing short of untouchable. You know, I think, and you guys let me know what you think, but Manny Pacquiao, I think if we're talking about pound for pound, the true definition, the true essence of what a pound for pound fighter is, let there be no debates. Let there be no misunderstandings. Let there be no qualms. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is one of the top 10 best pound-for-pound fighters who ever lived, you know? So that's what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. Usam, the fanboy killer, says, once the fighters get that paper, that's when you know what they're made of. Yeah, you know? It's like when somebody gets a little bit of money, when somebody gets a little bit of accomplishments, that's when you find out who they really are. They say money doesn't how does that saying go? Money doesn't change you, it just makes you more of what you already are. That applies to boxing and life. You know, if you're a punk bitch when you're poor, guess what? When you have some more money, you'll be an even bigger punk bitch when you get money. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how it crumbles. But yeah, make sure you guys comment your favorite Manny Pacquiao memories, your favorite Manny Pacquiao fights. You got any questions about Manny Pacquiao's thoughts, comments, concerns, drop them down below. I'll be here for like maybe another half hour to 45 minutes. Make sure you guys come back later on because we're going to react to the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury press conference. You know, we'll see what happens, man. I'm very intrigued to see how Deontay Wilder approaches the press conference today. But yeah, man. Another Manny Pacquiao fight that believe it or not that I really have good memories of is his fight against what's his name? You know, it's funny. I don't know what you guys think, but one of my favorite Manny Pacquiao fights is actually the Jeff Horn fight. I love the Jeff Horn fight, even though it got robbed and it didn't end in good fashion. I thought the whole fight was fun, was very entertaining. Like I liked Jeff Horn was a school teacher. He had Jeff Horn had beaten a couple former world champions on his way up, you know, former Olympian from Australia. He beat old Randall Bailey, old Ali Funeka. His name was kind of getting mixed in with, before he fought Pacquiao, his name was getting thrown around with like Earl Spence in these eliminator fights. People said they didn't want to see it. He eventually gets a Pacquiao fight. He fights way above people's expectations, makes it a rough, tough fight. But even then, like even in that fight, Manny Pacquiao beat the shit out of Jeff Horn. You know, had him out on his feet, had him doing the damn chicken dance. I think what was it, round 9, round 10? Had him bloodied up and busted. And I like, for me, that fight was a great fight to watch because Manny Pacquiao showed in that fight that, hey, you know what? He's old. He's at an advanced age, but he's still one of the best welterweights out there. And, you know, it's funny because a lot of these welterweights like Crawford and Spence, you know, one guy in Spence had a fight scheduled with him. The other guy and Crawford was postal fighter for all these years. Neither one of them got it. So this day comes with some joy for boxing fans, but it's got to come with a bit of sadness for these two fighters, because I think Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence both pissed away their opportunity to become the star of the welterweight division. And I find it crazy because Manny Pacquiao was like, he's the last remaining welterweight from the welterweight crop of like he's like the last guy that intersects between the last three generations of welterweights, because like he's from that Pacquiao, he's from that Floyd, Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito crop of welterweights, you know, that era. And then he kind of intersected with like the Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford era. And then now we have like the Virgil Ortiz, Jaron Ennis, you know, era of welterweights. So like that era is officially done. It's closed. All right. And the crazy thing is, we're not too far away from moving past this era of like Crawford, Spence, Porter, you know, Danny Garcia. These guys are an era on their own, and I really feel like that era of welterweights, I'm gonna call it the lost era, the lost generation of welterweights, because I feel like that era, so many guys had a chance to really take reins and take a hold of boxing once Floyd and Manny kind of faded away and retired, and nobody truly did it. Keith Thurman was on his way. He got complacent. It didn't happen for him. Errol Spence, you know, didn't quite happen for him. Terrence Crawford, he's 33, 34 right now. It's not going to happen for him. You know, he might still salvage a great career and have some great fights, but he's never going to be that star to carry the welterweight division in boxing forward. So, yeah, Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, the floor is yours. The floor is officially yours. You guys are going to come and be great. You know, boxing is in desperate need of a welterweight superstar. Boxing is in desperate need of somebody to really, you know, grab this division by its balls and become that welterweight superstar. You know, Terrence Crawford, he's going to have a chance to salvage the last part of his career. But I don't see him becoming the star that the welterweight division is looking for. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Val makes a great point. Fox, they wasted their potential to become a welterweight pay-per-view star. Yeah, Fox and PBC just hasn't worked out. It hasn't quite worked out, and I think that deal is once it ends, I think it's going to end. I don't see Fox and the PBC renewing their deal. I think the writing's on the wall. You can kind of see it already with PBC already moving to Showtime for the Canelo-Caleb Plant fight. So, you know, it is what it is. Boxing made sure that Crawford couldn't become that superstar. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The PBC in the welterweights division, they froze him out long enough to where he lost three extremely valuable years of his career. And look, don't get it twisted. I hope Terrence Crawford fights and can continue to be elite until he's 37, 38, 39. But history tells us that that's more than likely not possible. And when you consider, you know, the guys like Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz and the way these guys are improving, you know, it's not looking like time's on his side. But like I said, there's still time for Terrence Crawford to make the best of his career. And that starts on November 20th in Las Vegas. I will be in Las Vegas. I will be at that fight. You know, the minute these tickets go on sale, you can bet your bottom dollar, you can bet your ass that your boy BT is going to be purchasing tickets. Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford will both receive my hard-earned money, and I will be at that fight. No doubt about it. I don't care if it was on the undercard. I don't care how good or bad the undercard is. We will be there because Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters of our generation, and he's going to prove it on November 20th, and I can't wait. And he's gonna be, and he's gonna do it against one of boxing's true warriors, Showtime Sean Porter. But yeah, JD, you make a great point. You know, boxing didn't want to see Terrence Crawford be all he could be, and it's unfortunate. It truly is unfortunate. You know, but Manny Pacquiao, man, we haven't seen fighters, you know, put together speed, power, angles. Not too many fighters in the history of boxing have put together speed, power, and angles like Manny Pacquiao did in his career. So I'm gonna miss him. I'm truthfully gonna miss Manny Pacquiao. I'm really gonna miss him. You know, I really am. You know, Rattlesnake says Pacquiao and Lomachenko are my two favorite fighters in recent years. You know, it's crazy. I remember there was a point in time when Lomachenko started like making all these guys quit on the stool, and he was going from like 126 to 130. There were some people for a brief amount of time. Remember you guys remember when Vasily Lomachenko talked about fighting Manny Pacquiao, and then he didn't want no smoke? I don't know if y'all remember that, but that would have been an interesting fight if Manny Pacquiao could have came down in weight and met Lomachenko. That would have been something. Imagine if Jerron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz had a Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward trilogy, but that shit ain't gonna happen. Reality check, hashtag 21st century ducks. Yeah, man, look, that's not gonna happen. I think as boxing fans, we live in a day and age where you only get trilogies that like those big money trilogies, but so often. Like Fury versus Wilder 3 is an extreme rarity in boxing. But if boxing really gave a fuck about the business of boxing, they would do that, because if you were able to make a Ennis Virgil trilogy and the fights were good and the fans were satisfied, that would be a way that you could create two superstars, and then every fight that those two fighters have from that point forward, they're gonna be important. People are gonna care. People are gonna pay attention. People are gonna get behind these fighters. You know what I'm saying? So, it'd be great, but I just don't think that's realistic. Can you say that Manny versus Marquez, Morales, Barrera were wars like Castillo versus Corrales, back and forth? Yeah, they definitely fall under, you know, that you know, back and forth action. You know, and you don't really have too many wars like that in boxing. Not at that level, and not, you know, where the two guys know each other, because in boxing, right? When you fight a fighter one time, and when you know his strengths and his weaknesses, and you know his style, and you know what he's bringing to the table, you know, sometimes that causes one of the fighters in the ring to be more cautious, so you don't get as good of a fight, you don't get as action-packed of a fight. But when you talk about Manny and Marquez, they were always action-packed fights. They didn't give a fuck how much they knew each other's styles. The punches came, you know, there was a lot of leather being thrown, a lot of grown man punches being thrown. And you got to respect Manny. You got to respect Marquez for the fights they gave us and the moments they gave us. A lot of times, like I've said many times, boxing isn't just about having a pretty record, having a good record, and sometimes it isn't even just about who you beat, but it's the moments. It's the moments you give people in the ring to remember you by. What kind of moments did you give the fans to remember you by? You know, with Manny Pacquiao, there's a lot of moments we can refer back to. You know, from the Ricky Hatton knockout to oh shit, we got Pops here. We got Pops.
What's going on, guys?
Pops is here.
God bless you all. How y'all doing?
Pops, do you know the subject of what is?
Yeah, man. The great legend, the best ambassador to boxing besides Muhammad Ali. I decided to hang up his gloves. That's how I'm always going to remember him. He fought some great fighters. Has some excellent resumes. But the best thing for me is he's a great human being, and he changed the world in his own way.
What's your favorite Manny Pacquiao fight?
I like Margarito fight.
Margarito?
Yeah.
He like Margarito too.
Yeah, that's the one I like. But I mean, Pacquiao did everything that he could probably did. I think it was time for him to move on. Who knows? Who knows if he doesn't win the presidency, if he'll come back. We never know.
He's not coming back.
I just hope that he just stays out of it. I think from what Ugas and these young guys are coming up now, I think it's just time to hang it up. You know, he's done enough for boxing and needs to move on. Floyd left. Now he's leaving. I mean, Canelo, I don't give a fuck if he stays, if he doesn't fucking stay. I'll come out this motherfucker's ass. Because he ain't a great humanitarian like motherfucker. He might do good things outside, but he ain't no fucking.
The stream is about.
Okay.
The stream is about him, Pops.
Okay.
Right. Let's stay on topic. Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is, man. We love Pacquiao. We'll always be fans of him here on True School Sports.
I just think that you know, everybody's time is coming, and his time was here. I mean, we gotta appreciate. We're never gonna have another Manny Pacquiao. I'll tell you that much. We're never gonna have an 8th division champion again. I don't think that'll ever happen again.
I like the fact that this is happening, because now it gives us a chance to reflect on what's been a remarkable career for Pacquiao. Yeah. But more importantly, I feel like boxing can finally move past that era, because the more Manny and Floyd stayed active,
yeah,
the harder it was going to be for guys like Virgil and Boots to break through.
Well, that's a good point. I never thought about that. Handing over the
torch.
The torch.
Because the thing is, right? Not Virgil and Boots, but like the era of like Crawford, Spence, Porter, Danny Garcia, Thurman. These guys, they all like. I look at that as kind of like the lost generation of welterweights. These guys all had a chance to, at some point in their careers, grab the reins and be that welterweight star that boxing was looking for. Post Manny, post Floyd, they all got close, but for whatever reason, whether it be in the ring or out the ring, none of them ever quite got to that level where they can grab the division. Now, it's Virgil and Jaron Ennis' time, and any other welterweights that have the skill and the will to be at the top of the division.
But for those two in particular, you can really look at it as a Floyd handing the torch off to whoever, and a Manny Pacquiao handing the torch to whoever in 147. But these two guys right here, it's their time now to pick up the torch, take the 147 weight class by the horns, and say, listen, all the kings are gone, we're the new kings in town.
Yeah, even like I know a lot of people don't like Conor Ben.
Even Ben,
Conor Ben will be in the mix.
For the UK,
you got
represent the UK,
And you know what? He's not a welterweight yet, but a guy that I think will have a chance to be not a good welterweight, not a regular welterweight, but a great welterweight once he moves up. Is the great Josh Taylor, the incomparable Josh Taylor.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that either.
Maybe Josh Taylor winds up being the next great welterweight. We just don't know. Boxing's a very unpredictable sport.
And there's a lot of young guys coming up. But like BT said, the two that stick out to our mind, Jaron and the Boots and Virgil Ortiz, and why not one of them take the torch?
Who do you? All those two, who you
already know.
Who do you think takes the torch?
My heart, I'm a deep Virgil Ortiz.
I didn't ask who you're a fan of. I asked, who do you think?
Oh, shit. I'm leaning more towards Boots on that.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling. I like Ortiz, but as we're speaking right now, I'm leaning more to Boots. I think Boots is better all around. He would be a better representative as far as how he carries himself, being from Philadelphia.
You don't think Virgil?
I'm a big Virgil Ortiz fan. And I think Virgil would be great. I think if they both fight and they go forward.
Someone mentioned earlier, the best thing that could probably happen to this division moving forward is like if Virgil and Boots have a trilogy of sorts. What would you think about a Virgil versus Boots trilogy, or more than one fight at least?
That'd be great. It all depends on their careers and how they keep going and once they become champions and how they make it. They gotta make it a rivalry. Simple as that. You have trilogies, most of the trilogies, because it's a rivalry form. They gotta get in there. They gotta fight each other first of all. Let's see who the king of the line really is in 147 between them two. Okay, we know Josh Taylor. We know what he can do. We want to see what these two cats can do. These are the two cats here in American boxing. We want one of them to take over the world.
Like in the NFL, like Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles, the rivalry. Dallas versus Philly in the pros. That's what we need.
That's right. I mean, it'd be great. It'd be great.
And you know what? The thing I can say about Virgil and Boots is Virgil and Boots both have a style that I think is attractive to people who don't normally watch boxing.
Yeah.
Like let's just say, right, if they do wind up fighting and you bring your friends over to a fight party to watch these guys and you tell them great things about Virgil, you tell them great things about Boots, they're gonna become a fan of one of them.
Exactly.
There's no way a casual fan could watch the skills of a Jaron Ennis and the athleticism and the hand speed and the flashiness of him and not be drawn to that. Or there's no way they can watch Virgil Ortiz and not be drawn to the sheer knockout power that he has. So I feel like with those two, with guys like them two, Josh Taylor, set to move up, Crawford in that last phase of his career, I feel like the welterweight division is slowly going in a good direction. And I mean, look, man, Jaron Ennis is the only fighter in boxing who has chinchilla on his trunks and actually performs. He performs to the level of his outfits. A lot of times these fighters, like who was it? Raymond Ford. Yeah. Raymond Ford looking like a straight douchebag with the jean jacket vest. And then he fights a journeyman and he goes 6 rounds and he wears a jean jacket vest and he says, my drip is different. My outfit is different. Man, fuck that shit. Your skills gotta be different, champ. And Jaron Ennis shows. He shows time and time again that he has the skills to match the style The style can't supersede the skills.
Yeah.
The skills and the style gotta be the same. They gotta be the same level.
Skills pays the bills, so
that's right. Skills pay the bills, and skills pay for that fucking flashy ass outfit you wearing. So
yeah, that's the big thing here with True School Sports with BT. If you're gonna wear any kind of chinchilla, you better come out and shine.
Val says, I'm gonna be up there with the 147s in the future, God willing, and I ain't gonna duck nobody. I'm going for that old school legacy. So I guess Val's a fighter. I see in his picture.
Awesome.
He got the hand wraps on. He looking cut up like a bag of dope, like he's in good shape. So if you do turn pro, my best wishes to go out to you, champ. I respect anybody who puts the gloves on, just so long as they're willing to fight fairly and
take the fights.
You know, I respect anybody that goes into the boxing ring, because it's a very, very lonely and it can be at times a frightening place, and only a small percentage of people had the balls to even step in the ring. So
right.
Absolutely. And yeah, Ordinary Pizza's Val, like he gonna give some fools the business. Is could be. He definitely looks the part.
Wishing the best.
How much percentage does the organization take for the Undisputed Champion? Are you talking about the purses? Well, I think that's all dependent upon what the networks and promoters pay the fighters. So let's just say, right, if let's say a fighter's making $4 million, right? If a fighter's making $4 million, I know I've heard in the past, now don't take my word for it, but I've heard in the past, take it with a grain of salt, that like the sanctioning fee to fight for a WBC title can go as high as like $100,000. So let's just say, if you fight for 4 titles, and let's just say they're all $100,000, that's like $400,000 in sanctioning fees right there. It's expensive to fight for Undisputed. It's expensive to be Undisputed Champion. What's that say? It pay the cost to be the boss. And that statement applies the most when you're Undisputed. So we're looking at like maybe $400,000 to be Undisputed. Plus you're looking at taxes. You're looking at paying your team. If you got a big team, you're gonna make a lot of pay. So it's a lot. To be Undisputed.
And what he's bringing up is, I just read it last night. I don't know if you read it, with the George boxing scene, with the George Kambosos and Teofimo fight. George Kambosos had a legal team, and he's basically suing Triller for whatever the breach of contract, whatever it is. And it actually shows the figures. It shows what the guy just asked you about. It's actually speaking about the figures they're going to actually get now if the fight, if Kambosos goes through and sues Triller, then they won't. Teofimo won't get the $3 million. He'll get like $2 million something, and the other half goes to the promoters, or whatever the leftover goes to the promoter and the Triller. The same thing goes to Kambosos. Instead of making whatever he's making, he'll make like 1.8 something, and whatever's left over goes to the purse or whatever. So that's how they distinguish that, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, go to boxing scene, look at that article that I was reading about the fight, because Kambosos is actually suing, and it has figures there. Literally, it has figures.
All right, I'll check that out. Shout out to my man out there in Coney Island, Ruben Crespo. He says, "Champ, look at him, y'all. Look at him. What's good, Ruben?"
Ruben, I love who that Mullins hat on.
Yeah, Ruben. Ruben makes a lot of wise choices coming here to True School Sports, but one of the next wisest choice he makes is when he puts that Marlins cap on. So shout
out to New York and Ruben.
Shout out to Ruben out there in New York and Coney Island.
Yeah.
Milo Grogan and one of South Florida's very own. He says, "No pops, no life, no Manny, no boxing." Damn. Yes. Congratulations. You know, in the words of Manny Pacquiao, in the words of Flamingo, you know, I want to take my hat off to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, you've had a remarkable career in the sport of boxing. Smart investments, making smart investments, like Floyd said.
Well, I mean, he's got a new career now with politics, and he's trying to do better for his country. So hey.
And you know, I used to joke around in his last couple of years of boxing. I used to joke around a lot and say, Manny Pacquiao ain't worried about boxing. He's busy putting someone to death.
Yeah.
But he was only doing that part time. So now. Yeah. Manny Pacquiao can put people to death full time. He's coming.
I said he ain't playing.
He's not playing.
He ain't playing. He put Philippines up here. They're gonna stay up here because of the way he is, the way he carried the world.
Look, there's one thing I can't say about Manny Pacquiao, and this might not get talked about a lot, is just the lineage of Filipino fighters that came after him, and the guys in boxing that I feel like were inspired and had their style influences by him. You know, obviously you got the guys that are signed to him, like John Rio Casimiro, who Pop is a big fan of. Casimiro. You got Jerwin Ancajas. You got one of my favorite fighters that people don't know about yet, but he's supposed to fight Sonny Edwards soon. Jason Mama, explosive fighter. You got my dear friend who just turned pro, who you guys will be hearing about in the near future. Paul Ponce, another Filipino.
And speaking about that, who do you honestly think can carry the Philippine torch, so to speak, right now? Now that the legend from the Philippines is gone.
Nobody can fill those shoes 100%.
No,
but I think the guy that boxing is going to try to push to carry the torch and be that next Filipino star for boxing is going to be Mark Magasayo.
You think so?
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you this. Mark Magasayo is an explosive fighter. Mark Magasayo is a good fighter. But as long as he's good. As long as he stay away from Angelo Leo, we'll be all right. Hey, I know Angelo Leo is a 122 pounder. Magasayo is 126. But I think Angelo will be moving up to 126 soon. So as long as if they really want to carry that torch of Filipino boxing, just stay clear.
And the Flash is too old to carry, right? He's about to.
And Donaire's probably been, those been the two guys for all these years. Pacquiao and Donaire that have just been carrying the torch of Filipino boxing. He's the next one. There ain't too many fighters in boxing who you can truly say in your heart of hearts with no reservation, this guy is an all-time great. Yeah. But Donaire, same guy. We were talking about fighters who had that old school mentality that come from that cloth. We mentioned Chocolatito, Gallo Estrada, Josh Taylor, Usyk. Donaire, put him on that list.
Yeah, Donaire. How about, you don't think Casemiro's going to do anything to carry that torch, or you think he's got to prove after the disappointing loss he's not worthy of that yet?
No, he didn't lose. He got to win.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
He got to win against Rick and Dow.
Yeah, but I'm saying, no.
He's good, but he not carrying that torch. Rico Ransom, shout out to you. Manny Pacquiao was whooping ass at 20 and at 40. Was whooping boxers' ass in the 20s. That's a damn. He's a legend. You gotta give him respect. You gotta give him his just due. Gotta give him his flowers.
Yeah. I mean, he's done everything possibly for boxing for himself, and he's been blessed, and he gives the blessings back. So, will we ever see another? The question is, will we ever see
the closest thing we ever saw to Manny Pacquiao before Manny Pacquiao, and I would say he was actually a slightly greater fighter than Manny Pacquiao, was Henry Armstrong in the 20s. Wow. You hear these stories about because back in those days, in the 1920s when boxing only had 8 weight classes. Now in boxing we got 17 or 18 weight classes. Right. They had 8. Yeah. They had the original 8. Henry Armstrong was he was the lightweight champion. Right. Or was it the lightweight champion, welterweight champion, I think featherweight champion or whatever it was, or middleweight champion, something like that. Simultaneously. Yeah. Pacquiao is probably the closest thing to that since. He was the modern day Henry Armstrong. Wow.
I mean, like I said, there's not that many people do what he did or emulate what Ali did that Manny Pacquiao has done in so many words. That's how I compare both of them. For me, leaving your legacy as a humanitarian and doing what you did for the world and for your country is more important to me than just actually everything you did inside the ring. That's not saying I'm discrediting that. I'm just saying he did more than that.
Manny Pacquiao was a great fighter. And we were really appreciative to have Manny Pacquiao on Top Rank Boxing. Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter, But now that Pacquiao was out the sport, we gotta find the next Puerto Rican style, because when you get a great Puerto Rican fighter and you match him up with a great Mexican fighter, you get a great fight. I'm doing my Bob Arum impression. I wonder how Bob Arum is feeling about Manny Pacquiao not retiring from boxing. Shout out to Bob Arum. Manny Pacquiao. Bob Arum was able to make a lot of money off of Manny Pacquiao and Floyd and a lot of other guys. Milky Way says, are the belts made of real gold? It's a great question. I have no clue. That's probably a question I should ask somebody that I know who has a world title. I might need to ask Angelo Leo, see if he knows the answer to that, because I'm not even sure myself. But I would assume that at least one of the sanctioning body world titles got to be made of real gold. Otherwise, then the belts are completely useless. You can't even sell it when you become poor. You can't even sell it when you become poor. Or if you become poor, Can't even do that. So, yeah, it's your boy BTV, Untouchable, True School Sports Empire. We're just sitting here remembering the legendary career of Manny Pacquiao, talking about what kind of impact it's going to have on boxing as far as the welterweight division, the Filipino fighters in the sport, who can carry the torch moving forward, all that good stuff. Drop your favorite Manny Pacquiao fight down below, your favorite Pacquiao memory down below. And yeah, I'll probably be on here for about 5 to 6 more minutes, or maybe 10. And then I'm probably gonna go do some other stuff, and then get ready to watch the press conference here in a couple hours between Wilder and Fury. So get your comments in. I don't know how you drink coffee every day.
It's just plain coffee.
No, I drank it.
It's watered down. I'm not really. It's a mental thing because it's not really coffee. It's just watered down coffee. I can no longer drink coffee.
Yeah.
because of my heart. But back to talking about the greatest man the legend that just left boxing. Like I said, I'll say it again. There will never be another Manny. There will be. I don't think even this generation to come. I don't think that there'll ever be another 8th division champ like Manny. The competition is getting so tough. It's hard to do.
Maybe Canelo. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jairo says Raymar Caballo versus John Rio Casimiro unification. That'd be a great all Filipino fight. Caballo, I think, was lucky. I mean, I like Caballo. I've been watching Caballo for a long time. I've actually seen him fight in person. I actually saw Caballo when he fought Stefan Young here in South Florida. They fought on a heavyweight factory card. And but I think, Caballo is young, he's strong. He's got a little bit of boxing ability, but we saw in the Emmanuel Rodriguez fight, if he fights these elite boxers, he's gonna have problems, a lot of problems. As far as the Casemiro fight, make it happen. Make it happen. Make that shit happen, man. I think that'd be a really explosive fight, and a fight that the fans would be very, very happy for. I think that might be the next fight, actually. Raymar Caballo versus Casemiro. The Milky Way wants to know, what is your favorite belt? My favorite belt in boxing, as far as how it looks, is the IBF, the red belt with the gold.
You like that?
I like the red belt. A lot of fighters say they like the green belt. I like the red belt with the gold. Dylan Chapo says boxing won't be the same after Pac-Man retiring. We gotta depend on Canelo's bitch ass now to uplift the sport. Well, that's the harsh reality. I think there's a lot of fighters that are gonna play their part in carrying boxing forward, but the unfortunate reality is that they're not gonna have the sort of investment in capital, in marketing dollars behind them, because the reality is this: boxing promoters are very lazy, and they just want to cater to the fan base that spends the most money on boxing, which in theory makes sense because Mexicans do spend more money than probably anybody in boxing. But it also hurts boxing because anytime you get a fighter who's good, who's not Mexican, they get no promotion. Yeah. So then boxing loses when a fighter, it makes no sense, and you're alienating all other great fighters in boxing. Yeah,
I think the promoters just gotta they're gonna make money no matter what. They just gotta get off the high horse. And take, for example, Eddie Hearns after the Joshua thing. He was really disappointed. Of course he was disappointed because dollar sign, they thought he was going to get more for the bigger fight with Fury. Who knows what's going to happen now, whatever the case may be. But so what I'm getting at, promoters need to promote their fighters, and if they don't stay with them. What the fuck? Look at Boo Wanby. Part of the reason Boo Wanby's not getting what he's getting is because fucking Eddie Hearns doesn't want to get off his ass. Manny Pacquiao at least had money. Wherever he went, he felt he filled up seats. And he promoted himself. He didn't have to have all these other promoters.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, most of you might forgot about this, but when Manny kind of got rid of the when Manny wasn't promoted by Top Rank, he went to fucking Malaysia and did a fight with Lucas Batiste. Manny Pacquiao Promotions. Yeah.
So I mean, you gotta look at all that, and I lost my train of thought.
Rico Ramsey says my favorite fight is Pacquiao versus Broner. It's my go-to fight to watch. Also, the 3 fights with Tim Bradley were lit too. Absolutely.
And let me tell you, people like Thurman, Broner, people that actually fought Pacquiao that to me weren't really at that level with Pacquiao. These are fights that you should appreciate for yourself. I didn't know Chris Algeri fought Pacquiao.
You know that?
I was looking through his thing.
That was the fight that was the famous fight where his trainer was like, I'm getting ready to let Chris out the cage.
Oh yeah, wow.
You never seen that?
No.
Like he had this random MMA trainer.
Okay.
Chris Algeri used to have the biggest bum of a trainer in boxing. He had this guy named Tim Lane who used to train kickboxers, MMA fighters. So Max Kellerman's interviewing him between the rounds. Yeah. And he's like, Chris is getting outboxed. He's losing every round. And he's like, yeah, he gonna knock Pacquiao out. I'm getting ready to let him out the cage, right? Yeah. He listened to me. I'm getting ready to let him out the cage. And literally, right after he said that, Manny Pacquiao hits Chris Algeri with a straight up 10 and drops him. Yeah, so I'm saying the people that actually will not level but fought him and everything should appreciate that time. And even the other fighters, appreciate that time behind the ring because you're never going to see it again. Shout out to Charlie, Child of the King. He says, Pops' hair is getting pretty long. Yeah, man, I'm gonna shave it. Thank you for telling me, man. I'm about to shave mine today. It's gonna be gone. Next time you see me on the live, all this shit is gone. And thank you for your comment, but I really appreciate the female tells me that, okay? God bless. I'm just joking. JD Blanca says, I'm going to cry when Crawford retires. The greatest fighter I've seen, in my opinion. Crawford will be one of those fighters that I'm going to be sad when he retires. But The fighter that I'm really gonna be sad about, more sad than this one, because this one is like I'm glad he retired.
Oh, that was coming.
It's Chocolatito.
I knew that was coming. Chocolatito, yeah. I mean,
the only fighter that's gonna make me happy when they retire is Sinisa Estrada, so we raise our children. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Hey, we're not all immortal, so we have to go sometimes. So hey, that's the reality of life. What I was gonna tell you, BT, is someone was gonna say, I forgot now.
Hyro says Caleb Plant has some brown ass legs. He's gonna beat the fun size out of Canelo.
You got that right. We know that's coming.
Hey, I don't know if you know this. You know, and some of you guys may know this. You know, Caleb Plant was a really good kickboxer.
Caleb Plant.
Yeah, I was watching.
Oh shit.
No, he's got his kickboxing fights on YouTube. Like there's videos of Caleb Plant kicking like above his head. Doing the spinning back fist.
Yeah. Doing all that stuff.
Caleb Plant could have been a decent MMA fighter.
Hey, listen, I'm happy for Caleb Plant. Get opportunity now. Because right now, the reality is people are going to argue the point and say the face of boxing right now is Canelo. They're going to say that. But until November 9th, right? Caleb Plant, November 6th, Caleb Plant is coming. Sweet Hands is going to put everybody, and he's going to become the face of boxing.
Oh, man.
I'm just joking.
Well, no, if he wins, that's what's going to happen.
But I'm pulling for him. But this is not about Caleb Plant. I'm just saying Canelo will not be the only big name worldwide. People believe
Joshua.
Joshua's big. He's not big over here as he is over there. Only in the UK and over there in the UK. But I'm saying Canelo's big. I think all over. You know
Rico Ransom said, "I didn't know you were a Chocolatito fan. Where have you been, champ? Where have you been? You know, Rico, you must be new to the channel. It's actually impossible to have been here for any sustained amount of time and not know that I look. I mean, for Christ's sake, I don't know if you can see that the headband on that wall, but it says Chocolatito.
Yeah.
So
right there in the Ring magazine, Chocolatito.
Yeah, there's a Ring magazine of Chocolatito on my wall. So, you know, of all the fighters that we probably talked about, I've seen Chocolatito fight in person probably more than everybody. I've seen Chocolatito fight against Cuadras in person. I was there when he knocked out Calify. I was ringside, and I was there earlier this year.
In the UK at that?
No, it wasn't in the UK.
It wasn't
in Dallas.
Oh, was that okay? Yeah.
And I also was there when when he fought Estrada this year and got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Harry says, BT, when you get a PS2, you better be no Amir Khan versus Kell Brook hype. Oh, yeah, I was talking to Harry.
Oh, shit.
I was talking to Harry yesterday.
I want to buy that game. Yes,
I was talking to Harry yesterday, and he was telling me that he doesn't think I'll get a PS5 because number one, it's extremely expensive, and number two, it's really hard to get a PS5.
How much did it make?
Apparently, it's like really, really hard. Hey, can y'all? I'm not really a gamer, and I don't really follow.
Yeah, I don't do like regular.
Is a PS5 really that hard to get?
It's probably
because I told him if I can't get a PS5,
yeah,
I said I went on Google yesterday and I Googled how much a PS2 costs.
Yeah, and
I told him I'm about to buy a PS. I need some games in this room.
I know you do. Listen, man, we used to have them. We're gonna get them again. I'm really dying for that ESBC game to come out. I don't know when the date's gonna come for that. Anybody know when the fight date's? But
they got the best roster. They got everybody in the game.
They're gonna sign. They need to sign some more fights. I don't know how many more fights they gotta sign, but I just want to see the true thing.
Bro, that's crazy. I never seen that. I like Chocolatito. Yeah, bro, Chocolatito. Like, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be a day where I had the time in my life at the fight with Estrada, but they robbed the hell out of him. You know, I damn near cried that night because it was such a bad robbery. How they just robbed them of greatness in that comeback. You know, and yeah, that's what I think. When I was watching the kickboxing fights, I'm like, man, it makes sense why he moves how he moves and why he's so athletic and why he can kind of evade and slip punches so well because at one point in time, from what I was listening to, apparently when he was younger, he said that before he decided to go full-time at boxing, his dad was a kickboxer originally. So his dad used to take him to kickbox one week and box another week. And that's, you know, he had become I think it was like a 5-time national championship kickboxer or something like that. He won the what is it called, the ISKA, which is like the big kickboxing world titles. He was a really good kickboxer. He was a world-class kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Caleb Plant on November 6th. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be on here for like 5 to 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get up on out of here because I got other things I gotta attend to as far as the channel goes. As far as the next live fight reaction goes, there's no. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting on Saturday, so we might We might go ahead and do that. One triple S says you can get them, but you gotta be on it. If you live in a state like Florida, you're screwed. You gotta live in Kentucky to get one off the store. You can only get them on. Jesus, are you serious? So Hiro's not joking. So this PS5 epidemic is more serious than I thought. Well, look, man, the old saying goes, when there's a will, there's a way. I'm not gonna worry about getting a PS5 now because the ESBC game isn't out. But when the ESBC game comes out, I'll worry about it later on. Because I do want to get one at some point but in the meantime, we're gonna get that PS2 soon. I'm gonna go on eBay, get the PS2, give me some old games and just start having some fun. Cause I don't have no damn video games, and I've had any video games in my house for a long time. So I do miss playing video games. They are fun. They do keep me more creative and sharp. So yeah, man. I didn't know it was like that, but now that I've heard it from someone, aside from Hiro, I believe it. Rico says, "Are you and Pops tuning in to Marcus Brown versus Beterbiev? Did it get announced? I know they were talking about working on the purse bid, but did it actually get announced? Because I didn't hear anything about Brown versus Beterbiev. But yeah, man, Manny Pacquiao, what a career! What a career! There's not really much more I can say. I think I've said what I needed to say. Hiro says, make sure you get a second controller for the PS2. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry, champ. We're gonna play all the games. We're gonna play Grand Theft Auto Vice City. We're gonna play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. We're gonna play WWE SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. All the games. Fight Night. All the games. MLB Slugfest. NHL Hits. All the games I played growing up. We ain't getting no damn punk ass fake emulator. We're getting. I want the real deal physical copy. That's what we need. That's what we need in life. Yeah, I heard it was in talks. I heard it was in talks. When it happens, listen. When it happens, we'll definitely be live for it. We'll definitely check out Marcus Brown and Beterbiev and see what they got going on, because we want to see. I just want to see Beterbiev in action. At some point, we just want to see Artur Beterbiev back in action, because the guy never fights. The guy hasn't fought in like 2 years. So I just want to see the guy in action. You know what? I never played that one. I've played WWE SmackDown versus Raw, SmackDown versus Raw 2006, and SmackDown versus Raw 2007, but never 2009. I stopped playing after 2007. The SmackDown versus Raw series. Also, another game I'm gonna get is gonna be Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That was a game. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, NFL Blitz the League. These were the games. These are the games. NFL Blitz the League was good because when your players get injured, you can inject them with steroids on the sideline. You see, they had an option where you can get the players injected with steroids, and they would take a big ass syringe and stick it in their damn arm, and then the player would come back all juiced up, and then he would start running routes like crazy and catching the ball and stiff arming the shit out of people. So definitely got to get on it soon. But yeah, on that note, guys, let me see. Try WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth or Here Comes the Pain. They are by far the best wrestling games by far. Yeah, I grew up playing WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. That was my favorite game. I used to love playing with Brock Lesnar. He used to whenever you play Brock Lesnar, he would just be all stocky and just diesel, and he would just be doing this the whole time, even when you're not moving, just doing this shit with his shoulders over and over again. I used to give my friends the F5, put them on my back, and then just give them the F5. I just played I was at my boy Sean Zatel's house like 2 months ago when I was in Vegas, and he actually had SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. And he was The Rock and I was Bill Goldberg, and we had a steel cage match for the ages. And I gave him the damn spear and the jackhammer, and I beat him. That might be the next vlog when I go to Vegas. True School Sports plays Sean Tatel from Fight Hype in WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. That'll be the one to watch. But yeah, man, just life is short. Boxing career is shorter, so Manny Pacquiao had what was a lifetime in boxing, but really 20 plus years isn't a long time. It's not a long time. And now he moves on into life after boxing. There is life after everything, like the Bible says, like the good book says, everything has been made beautiful in its time. Nobody knows what the Lord will do from beginning to end, but he has set eternity on the hearts of man. So, it is what it is. That's how life goes. So you gotta appreciate every moment you have, every breath you have, every chance you get a day to do what you love. You appreciate it. Like right now, I'm sitting here, I'm live here on YouTube, talking of boxing with you guys, and it's another day to get a chance to do what I love. So I appreciate it. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have this opportunity left, So
nothing's guaranteed to you. Nothing.
When you go to Vegas, BT, don't forget about the PS2. Don't buy no Hornets jerseys. Oh yeah, bought that damn Baron Davis jersey last time I went to.
Hey, you can't go splurge and go impromptu shopping.
No, that you can't. You can't. I might buy that PS2 soon though, sooner than you think.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the ES. I'm not good with any other.
Yeah, Pops can't play.
I can't play shit, but I'll have fun with it. But I'm dying to see that ESCBC game come out.
Who are you gonna play with when the game comes out?
Marlon Hagler first.
Yeah.
I gotta play with Brock DeZone, Rocky Marciano. I like him too. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll play with. I like Sugar Ray. I like Tommy Hearns. You got all kinds of shit going on.
I'm gonna play with Johnny Beck.
I ain't playing with no Canelo. I'll play with any other Mexican fighter with Canelo.
Will you play with I'm gonna play with Josh Taylor.
You are?
No, actually, the first person I'm playing with is Sinisa Estrada.
Yo, I want to play with Kalzowski. What's his name?
Kalzagi?
Yeah, and Mayweather.
I want to play. I want to play Riddick Bowe versus anybody.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna prove to you guys unequivocally. They're gonna have a story mode in the game where you can create.
You build your own thing.
You can create your own boxer and you can pick your trainer. You know what trainer's gonna be? Because they got Mayweather Senior in the game. They got Jeff Mayweather. No, they got Eddie Reynoso.
Yeah, no. See, they
got Brian McIntyre.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have Bomac as my trainer.
You are?
Fat ass Bomac.
He knows his boxing. He knows his burgers too.
That's a fact. Why are people not giving Caleb Plant a chance?
I am. We are.
No. But he says why? Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Ready? I'm gonna tell you right now. Give me 1 second.
The majority.
I'm gonna tell you why. They're not giving him a chance.
Yeah.
This is why they're not giving him a chance.
We trying to figure out what you're saying.
Resume.
Yeah. You can't go. We had a video on that. You can't judge it by resumes.
Listen. If resumes meant anything, right?
Yeah.
Then Joshua would have beat Usyk because Usyk didn't beat nobody heavyweight.
Yeah, and another thing is, and I'm gonna say what BT says.
Hey, did resumes matter when Ugas outboxed Pacquiao?
Right. There you go.
Since his live was about Pacquiao, did resumes matter when Ugas outboxed Pacquiao?
That's true. That's true. And
Ugas lost to fucking Amir Imam.
Yeah.
And Manny Pacquiao had beat all the famous.
Jesus. And who would have thought in world of boxing that Manny Pacquiao would run into a puzzle? What's it called?
Ugas.
Like Ugas. I forgot the name I'm looking for. But anyways, a puzzle or jigsaw or a tongue twister light puzzle. I'm saying in his mind that he would, like he said, in my mind, I thought this was an easy fight. It ended up being the most difficult fight for him.
He said it was one of his easiest fights, but he retired you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ugas.
So and you got to shout out to the Cuban boxing too. Ugas has come a long way. Brendan said he went way back in the day when he was a nobody.
He was 14-3. Yeah. Everybody called him a bust.
Not Thurman. Not Spence. Not Crawford. Not nobody got the biggest fight with him except Ugas. So you got to respect him.
Well, no, Thurman didn't get the fight Pacquiao.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Thurman. But I'm saying as far as I'm going. I backtrack that. What I'm saying is, Ugas came in there, got the opportunity, took advantage of it. And that Cuban boxing defense, you got to give him props for that.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be for the rest of his life, for the record of Manny Pacquiao, Ugas will be involved in that.
And you know what? This kid who likes Canelo who always talks about resumes.
Yeah.
He said, hey, bro, I applied. Guess what? I applied for a job, and guess what? They looked at my resume and they liked the resume, so I got a good job. You can't get a good job without a good resume. And
There you go. So you learned something. Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. It's true. You have a decent resume. You got everything.
Yeah. Hold on. Shout out to El Jefe out there in Oak Cliff. He said, damn, BT, don't pay $150 for a PS2. It's rip-off. You can get that for like $70. Well, no, I was looking yesterday and hello? Hello? Oh, fuck. Hold on, guys. I can't take the call. Listen, guys. El Jefe, I'll call him back in like 10 minutes. El Jefe,
Okay.
as far as the PS2 goes, with the $70, I saw a bunch of packages in bundles where you can get the PS2 and they give you like 30 games, the controller and the memory card. So I'll do that. I'll just do that because it's about the same you would pay if you get like 30 games, the memory card and 2 controllers.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. I've seen like stuff like 100, like that, 90, something like that.
PS2 is outdated now, right?
Huh?
It's outdated. PS2, whatever it's called.
Shit, now me, it's the best system.
Yeah, but you got some great games, right?
All the
To
games.
this day, you still play old games and that.
I enjoy them more.
Yeah, and you always say the graphics are better or something. You always like.
I didn't say the graphics.
Okay.
I said the game's better.
Okay.
You know? Nah, eBay sucks, man. They rip you off. Listen, I've heard horror stories about eBay, but every time I've ever bought anything for eBay, I've had no problems. I've had 0 problems whatsoever. So it is weird.
Amazon.
Same thing. I've had pretty much 100% success rate. Nothing ever happened to me on eBay or Amazon. But look, on that note, guys, I'm gonna end the live because I got an important phone call that I gotta return, and I got other things I gotta take care of. But with that being said, you guys take care. I'll see you guys later on tonight. I'm gonna go live after the Wilder Fury press conference. And reacting, just get my thoughts on that. So I'll see you guys later. You take care of yourself. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding. Dang. Until next time.
Take care, guys. God bless.